word, which I meticulously prepared in advance. I didn't know I was going to have a chance to talk at the end until earlier today, so I'm just going to freeball it here. Just out of curiosity, how many people here got to see the Sex Pistols when they played Texas just before they broke up? I think I saw a hand go up, but I can't hear you.
One hand.
Well,
I've seen it, dude.
all right. Well, I mean, talk about year zero. Paul Leary told me that he saw the Sex Pistols as being the Johnny Appleseeds of punk rock in Texas.
Yeah.
So I just thought that's really cool that we got someone here who was there. I'm also curious, how many people in this room were in or worked on the movie Slacker? Clap, I can't see. Oh well, I have been on a Slacker deep dive lately, so I was just curious. So, alright, so I was born all the way in 1975, and I didn't even get to Austin until all the way in 2004. However, I moved to Austin for the scene that all of you have been describing here tonight, and a lot of those bands were still kicking around, and I got to see them. I got to see Daniel Johnston, Sharon Tate's Baby, Scratch Acid, Punkaroos, Pocket Fisherman, MDC, the Butthole Surfers, and I'm going to tell the story of how I wound up in Austin, which was because of the Butthole Surfers, and I'm going to tie it into some quick PSAs at the end. So, I lived in Birmingham, Alabama. My friends and I drove to see the Butthole Surfers play Atlanta in 2001 on the Weird Revolution tour. I basically just went up to their merch guy and said, "We'd like to meet the Butthole Surfers," and he said, "Sure, let me take you backstage." We met them, it was that easy, and I found out there that they had a message board that was before social media, so if you wanted to find all the other misfits and weirdos, you know, you'd find the band you liked and they'd have a message board. All the Butthole Surfers except for Gibby were on the message board, and also people who were on the Trans Syndicate label were on there, so his name was No Cats. It was Bobby Beeman from Stickman with Ray Guns, Richard from Crust, and oh yeah, I got to see Crust. I left that off the list. But anyway, so yeah, my very first trip to Austin was actually for the Crust reunion show when I was scoping it out. But what really put it on my radar was 2002. The Butthole Surfers played like 5 summer shows, and so another friend and I drove from Birmingham out to New Orleans, Houston, and San Antonio, and I walked up to Gibby after the show and said, "Hey, we're going to see you guys play in San Antonio tomorrow night. Do you want to ride in that van with a bunch of gross dudes, or do you want to ride with cute 2 girls?" I'm actually a trans guy, it turns out, but I didn't know that or how to articulate that at the time. So, "Would you like to ride with 2 cute girls or a bunch of gross, smelly guys?" And he's like, "I'll take the 2 girls." And so we drove, and that was actually the main time I ever overlapped with him, but it was a really fun time. And actually, Gibby actually looked up my phone number. He called information to ask for my phone number, and he got it. And so we talked on the phone a few times, but Paul Leary wound up being the main guy in that band I knew, and by chance, when I moved to Austin, he wound up being my neighbor. Although, I gotta say, there's a huge difference in neighborhoods between living on Nueces Street and across Lamar on Enfield. He had a much nicer house, and right after I got here, I had a horrible bike wreck where I was thrown off the back of my bike, and I bruised my pelvic bone in 3 places and could not walk comfortably for months. And Paul told me to just keep a running list of what I needed at the grocery store, and then anytime he was going to go buy his groceries, he would call me, he'd get my groceries, he'd have it rung up separately, and then he'd drop them off on his way home, and I'd write him out a check for the receipt. And I just want to say what a sweetheart he was, because in particular there was one time where I really like Breyer's mint chocolate chip ice cream, but it's hard to find, and I told him don't worry about it if they don't have it. He drove to 3 different grocery stores trying to find me Breyer's mint chocolate chip ice cream, and that was incredibly sweet. So, I'm going to end this with 2 public service announcements. One is that, so I did sort of overlap with Teresa in the Teresa Nervosa 15 to 20 year ago range. I really regret we didn't overlap again more recently. But as a drag queen and a queer spoken word person, in the next 1 to 2 months, I've been given the thumbs up for doing it, but not the date yet. I am going to do a tribute to Teresa, which I will post on her Facebook page. I'm going to do a lip sync monologue for her Madonna Pap Smear performance, and then I'm going to do a a quick 5-minute lecture on queer Texas punk rock history. So this will be recorded and it will go on YouTube, but if you want to see it live, I'll probably be doing it. It's probably going to be the swan dive, but I will, like I said, I'll post it. But that leads me to, so all of my queer punk rock and trans elders who are here, I would love to talk to you tonight. I definitely know some of the more prominent queer performers of the time, but there's a ton of us. We're everywhere. I don't know what I don't know. So I would love to talk to my queer and trans elders who are here tonight. Okay. So my very last thing, I spend a lot of effort trying to save lives because, as we all know, a lot of people die and they shouldn't, and it sucks. So we now have a way to fight back. I'm holding Narcan in my hand. If you're not familiar, Narcan can reverse an overdose from opiates. I'm getting these from the Austin Harm Reduction Alliance, previously Coalition, and I am just trying to pump as much of this stuff out there into the world. I only have 2 packs to hand out tonight, as well as some test strips. I have 10 test strips if anyone wants those. Please come up to me afterwards if you would either like what I have on me right now, or if you would be interested in distributing this in our community. Where there's life, there's hope, and I hope you guys will take some harm reduction. Thank you.
Yeah.